Hi everyone. I want to thank all of my fans and the people that have joined my fan club. I really appreciate that. It's Phyllis Shapiro from afc-express.com, and I want to show you my latest my latest pettiskirt. I thought it might be really fun for Christmas for all the little kids to have a Christmas tree pettiskirt. And it turns out to be really quite simple to make. I did it in very simple stages with mostly the same yardage, and I'll show you what I did and give you yardage at the end. This skirt has it's mostly tiers, and so you have your waistband, which you can always go to the other videos to look up the waistband, which was an 8-inch piece of either crepe de chine or satin, folded in half. It has the ribbon that comes through it that you can either make or keep a piece of one of the layers, one of the other cuts for the ribbon. I started by making a 3-inch piece, a 3-inch cut, to which I attached in this case, I really did a 3-to-1 ruffle, but I think I'd like a 4-to-1 ratio ruffle better. But this one is the 3-to-1. So there's a 3-inch cut with the 3-inch ruffle. This had a 5-inch cut with the 3-inch ruffle. This one actually went to a 7-inch cut with a 3-inch ruffle. And then it went to a 7-inch cut attached to a 3-inch cut. So I have a 10-inch cut with the 3-inch ruffle. So I have 1 layer, 2 layers, 3 layers, 4 layers, and after they were attached, at the very end, I added a ruffle around the crepe de chine layer. The only thing that I did that might be different, I've never made a layered skirt or layered anything previously, was the bottom 2 layers I attached to each other. My suggestion would be, here's my little diagram, is, because people ask me how much yardage, and this was a little difficult. I'm really still refining it, but I did the 40-inch waist. The waist is really going to depend on the size of the person you're making it for if you're doing something specific. And I would say to go with 3 times the waist measurement. The first layer would be the 3-inch cut, and you want that to be, I would attach that at a 3-to-1 gather to the crepe de chine layer. And that comes to about 3.5 yards at the 40 inches. That's going to have a ruffle on it that's either the 3-gather, 3-to-1, or 4-to-1. So you either need 10.5 yards or 14 yards of ruffle. The next layer down is the 5-inch layer. And that, again, all of these layers are that approximately 3.5 yards of fabric per layer. And the ruffle is still always going to be your 3-inch ruffle gathered at the either 3-to-1 at the 10.5 yards or 4-to-1 at 14 yards a layer. And my suggestion would be almost like a recipe. They can all attach ultimately up to the crepe de chine, but I would attach layers 1 and 2 to each other and layer 3 and 4 to each other before you attach to the crepe de chine, and then you only have 2. So in this case I did a 3-inch, a 5-inch, a 5 plus 3, which gives you an 8-inch layer, and a 5 plus 5, which gives you a 10-inch layer. And in that way, you can use most of the cuts most efficiently. If you want to make it longer for a larger child or a taller child, you can attach more, or you can order a 7-inch cut. Just think about what the cut is and what you want your final length to be. And add about 2 inches to the cut above it. And it really comes out quite full, and I think really cute. Attached to my sewing machine. In this case too, I thought if it was for a really little child, I kept out some of my 3-inch cut, and I decided that at the beginning, for a little kid, it could be a dress. It could start out being a dress, and eventually it would be the skirt, so they can get several years worth of fun from it. And you can sew on little bells or silver buttons or anything if you wanted to decorate the tree in whatever way you wanted to. And I thought that would be a great present or a really interesting and fun project to do. And I would love to hear from you about how it's working and how my measurements are going. While I'm on the subject of ruffling, I want to remind you all to please oil your ruffler. I use WD-40, I think. I spray it in between to make sure it moves smoothly. And my other recommendation right now is to cut yourself a 12-inch long piece of one of the layers and run it through at a 2-to-1, run it through at a 3-to-1, and run it through at a 4-to-1 to actually see exactly where your measurement, where this dial gives you that measurement, so that you know for sure that you're going to get the 2-to-1 or 3-to-1 or 4-to-1 ratio. Stay tuned. I will be getting back to you soon, hopefully, for March. I'm still working on a little 4-leaf clover, and I'm going to come up with a pettiskirt garden. I'm trying to think of ways to make other flowers and to just keep having fun with the chiffon, which I love, and I don't know, I wake up every night thinking of new projects. So if you have one you'd like to suggest and have me work on, I'll be happy to hear from you. In the meantime, have fun, let your kids have fun, and everybody get out there and just swirl away. Thanks a lot. On behalf of afc-express.com, I'll see you soon.